Good evening, everybody. Regina Andler here. We are on week 23 of Autumn Ascent Weekly, and we're going to dive right in. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get the slides open. Make sure I got the right screen here. All right. Can everybody see my screen? I just want to do a screen check here. Yes, can see the slides. Fabulous. I did a little rearranging. I have 3 monitors, including my laptop. So I have my laptop and 2 other monitors, and something happened last week. As we know, I did lose some communications last week, and then something else happened and my monitors got all messed up, and I ended up having to rearrange them all. And now the monitor that used to be the monitor for the presentation is no longer that monitor. It's now a different monitor. So just wanted to make sure we're all set. So I really appreciate that help and feedback from you guys. So thanks very much. So it is February 23rd, 2021, and we are on week 23. Look at that, week 23 on February 23rd. There you go. This week's agenda, we have our usual review of last week. And then this week's theme is confidence. And then we have the action of the week and then what is coming up. We do have our next guest coming up very soon. So we'll talk about that as well. And this week, we have the cat cheerleaders. We have nap on the sofa, nap in the den, nap in the kitchen, then do it again. There's your cat cheerleaders, little humor to get us started off tonight. Hello, Kim. I see Kim just joined us as well. So last week we talked about creativity, and we had Tina with us. Tina Michaud Gray was with us. And if you did not catch last week's, it is not up on the members page yet. It will be before Friday this week, it will be up there. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Tina is awesome, and she has a very creative way of looking at pain management. But not only did we talk about what Tina did, and also her contact information is up on our private Facebook page. So you can just go back to last week. I believe I put it up there directly after the presentation. So last Tuesday in the Facebook group page, you'll see her information out there if you want to check out her website. But we talked about creativity in general, and we had some actions about what were you going to be creative about this week. So I just want to throw some things out there, for creativity. We talked about different ways to be creative, whether it's being creative in your life's work or just being creative in general. So it could be, maybe you're being creative, you're writing a book. Maybe you're building something. I mean, there's a lot of handy people. I know Steve-O is on the call right now, and he just had built for him a very creative piece for his brother. And that was absolutely amazing. It was extreme creativity that went into that. Maybe you knit, crochet, and maybe you make little bears. Maybe you make something else. Maybe you make blankets. Maybe you make quilts. Also creative. Maybe you paint. Painting is definitely on that creative side, Michelangelo, a very creative painter. And then maybe you're creative in the kitchen. Maybe it's you like cooking and you find creative ways to change things up in the kitchen so that, you're not having the same thing every single night and just kind of changing it around just a little bit. You're getting creative and making more interesting meals. Or maybe you use your hands and you do some kind of pottery. Or maybe you're a photographer. There are so many ways to be creative. So the leave from last week and the action from last week is to explore your creativity. You never know. I mean, you could have some little creativity seed inside of you for something that you haven't even done yet. Something you've always wanted to do, but you haven't quite jumped into it, but something very creative. I challenge you to go and just explore it. And maybe, most people don't explore their creativity because we talked about this last week as well. In order to explore your creativity, you have to move outside of your box. And a lot of people don't want to move outside their box because it can be a scary place for some people. So I challenge you, if there's something that you've always wanted to do, something that you wanted to be creative about, go out and just explore it, check it out. Maybe jump into it, who knows? This week, want to move right into this week and get into confidence because I have a bunch of stuff on confidence. Again, it's one of those subjects that we could talk on forever and ever. So what does confidence mean? Straight out of the online dictionary, actually, this is Merriam-Webster, a feeling or consciousness of one's power or a reliance on one's circumstances. So you feel confident, or faith or belief that one will act in the right, proper, and effective way. Maybe you are thinking that you have confidence that your boss is going to give you a raise, or the quality or state of being certain. That's what confidence is kind of defined as. But I just want to add this in that confidence is really all about believing in yourself. And from a confidence standpoint, having the confidence to live the life that you've always imagined, that is kind of the ultimate goal for most people. And I will tell you, in the surveys that I've done for my business, confidence or lack thereof, confidence was one of the number one things that showed up when I asked people what kind of things could I help them with? What kind of results were they wanted? What were they looking for? They were looking for more confidence. And so a lot of people, you're not alone. If you're not always 100% confident, you are really not alone. So that's the first thing to remember, is that you are not out there by yourself. But, it's the ultimate goal for a lot of people, is to have that confidence. And a lot of people don't want to take that first step, but really, as the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single first step. So stepping out of your comfort zone and finding that confidence is huge. I'm going to use myself as an example on this page. Less than a year ago, if you said I was going to stand in front of a camera and talk to people and teach them things with a camera in my face, I would have said, and excuse my language here, but I would have said, oh, that's a big hell no, because I didn't do cameras. They make me a little nervous. They really do. I'm not 100% confident with the camera. It's just the way it is. However, I am way, way more confident. For anybody who was with me and has been with me for this entire journey so far, you know that I have been leaps and bounds with my confidence as far as where we've come from and where we are today. And it's just getting better. And that's the whole thing with confidence. You can build it. Thanks, Steve. Steve Gamlin says, hell yes. So confidence is one of those things that you can build upon. It's not, you might not have 100% confidence in something, but even if you don't, that's okay. You can build on your confidence. So I wanted to first talk about the fear factor of that confidence. When people say, I lack self-confidence, what does that really mean? What's holding you back? If you lack self-confidence, that means something is stopping you from feeling confident. So everybody internally has confidence built in. It's all about you, 100% you. You can be as confident as you wish to be. You have the choice. It's your attitude, your choice to be 100% confident in anything that you do, or to say that you lack confidence. And usually when you lack confidence, it's because there's something holding you back. There's something that you're scared of. Here's some ideas or some thoughts of things that might be holding you back. The fear of the unknown. So again, back to my camera. About a year ago, when I first started doing webinars and being on a webcam on a regular basis, even for work, for my old day job, I was not very confident at all. I kind of hid. Yeah, you ever meet one of those people that no matter what, if they're on a Zoom call, they will not turn their camera on? I'm on Zoom calls all the time now, and I see those people every single call. Whenever there's a big call, there's always people, they just refuse. They do not want to be seen. So, and why don't they want to be seen? It's like, it's the unknown. Well, what will people think of us? Second one there is, what will others think of me? If they see me live, will they judge me? There's all these things that you create in your head, all these stories that you make up for what you think people might be saying or judging or doing. And, there's also the fear created from the limiting beliefs. Maybe you were brought up saying that for whatever reason, you're not good enough. You'll never do that. Did anybody ever hear when they were a kid, you know what? That's not your thing. You'll never be able to do that well. It's not for you. Did anybody here ever hear that from their parents? Some people have parents. Steve O says, sure. Some people have parents who are very supportive and they say, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. I was brought up as the youngest with two older brothers, and I was brought up in a house where one of my brothers was a major jock, major into sports and that kind of thing. I was not the sports type. I was never the sports type. It took me until I was 50 years old to realize, talking about being creatively, I wanted to do something, but I had zero confidence because I was always told, you're too heavy, you're too weak, you're too slow. In some cases, way back when, you're a girl. There was all of these things as I was growing up that I was told, and I had all these limiting beliefs that I brought with me, that when I first went to my very first obstacle course race, now I trained just a little bit for it, but I wasn't great at it. But when I got to that first race and showed up, I was lacking a lot of confidence, but I was with a group of other people, and those people just said, we got this, we got your back, let's go do this. And as I went through, I shed a lot of those limiting beliefs, because the deal is that once you do something that you say you previously lacked confidence in, and once you know how to do it, all of a sudden, now you're confident because you can do it. So how do we overcome all of these fears? Well, there was one thing that I did that I thought was very useful, and I think everybody should always do. Find your superpower. Every one of us has a superpower. Most of us have multiple superpowers. So what is a superpower? Well, a superpower is, it's something that makes you extraordinary. Maybe it's a skill that you have. Maybe it is some kind of talent that you have. Maybe it's some certain knowledge that you have that is uniquely yours. Maybe you do something uniquely you, or have a special program or something that you sell that is uniquely yours. You have a superpower. Now, we go outside and we look for people and talk about who is going to help us find our superpowers. There's things that you can do to find your superpowers. And we're going to make a little list here. I'm going to make a list of 5. In order to find your superpower, I want you to make a list of 5 people that you admire and the qualities about them that you admire most. Maybe you have some similar, maybe not. Maybe something that they do will trigger something that will help you find your superpower. Or create a living list of what you do well. How many of you have ever made a list of all the things that you do really well? Have you ever just listed down? Steve Gamlin says authenticity and humor. Those are his 2 superpowers. There you go, right there. Love of learning is one of my superpowers. One of my superpowers is actually, I love to learn. You give me a book, you give me a documentary, you give me a program, you put something in front of me that I don't know how to do. I love to learn. It's one of my superpowers. And because I love to learn, it actually builds my confidence when I don't know something, because I know I will go figure it out. There's nothing holding me back saying, oh, I don't know that, so I should be scared of it. I jump right in, feet first, and say, give me the book, show me the website, show me the links, show me the info, whatever it is, wherever it is, let me have at it, and I'll go learn it. But then there's other things, like my camera. So the next thing is to create a list of 5 to 10 of your biggest life achievements. Now, some of you may say, I don't know if I even have 5 to 10. Yeah, you do. We talked about this in a previous webinar where we were talking about listing 100 achievements as one of the actions. And this is, we're talking about your biggest achievements. So we're not talking about learning to walk, learning to talk, though, in the grand scheme of things, if you didn't learn to walk and talk, you probably wouldn't be here right now on this webinar, right? So maybe they are listed as your big life achievements. But maybe you graduated from college. Maybe you went to college late. Maybe you took college courses way after high school. Maybe you didn't graduate high school and then went back on a GED. Maybe you started a business that you never thought you would start. Maybe I'm struggling here. Help me out here. We got a nice big crowd here tonight. What are some of the life achievements that you guys have achieved that we could add to the mix? Because there's all right. Can you hear me now? Yes. Awesome. All right. That would be my Yeti mic yet again, having some challenges. So please let me know that you can hear me. Okay. Everybody says everybody can hear me. Awesome. Thank you so much. So Steve-O put down that he got his college degree at the age of 63. And he also just got put into the softball Hall of Fame for umpiring. So there's two huge achievements that Steve-O has made. So there's always achievements out there through your life. I mean, some of you out there have kids. Having kids is a major achievement, especially in this day and age, So the other thing to do, and if you're looking for your superpower and you just can't identify it, is ask others. A lot of times, we are our worst critic. We're also the biggest judge of ourselves. We go around, we say, well, I'm not that good at this, or somebody will give you a compliment and you go, oh yeah, well, I'm not that good. Or, we shake it off. But you know what? Others see us through their eyes and their perspective. Listen to them. When others tell you that you do something really well, or you are really funny. So Steve Galen put down authenticity and humor. Absolutely, hands down, two of his major superpowers. And I can tell you, he is one of the funniest guys I know. Now, I don't know, sometimes he'll give some jokes and that kind of thing. I find all of them 100% humorous. Whether or not he finds them all humorous, I don't know. Maybe he thinks some of them are like, yeah, so. But for me, absolutely. I'm dying laughing most of the time that I'm talking to him. And let's see, Steve says, big achievements, international winner for humorous speaking for Toastmasters and comedy production, radio. There you go. So everybody has all of these achievements. And when you're lacking confidence, if you're doing something new and you lack confidence, one of the best things to pull in is that superpower. Even if that superpower is something else that you do that's not even related to what you're lacking in confidence. Because now you can think back and look at that and go, you know what? There was a time I couldn't do that one either. Now I can. And now I do it with the cape on, we're flying out, we're all good. But this one, not so much. But when you see what you can do with something else, that helps build your confidence for other things down the road. So a lot of times we're not 100% confident in everything. When somebody tells me they're a very confident person, I don't know that I've ever met anybody that's 100% confident, like all the time. Never runs into anything they're not confident about. There's some situation out there somewhere, somehow, that they're going to go, whoa, I have no idea what to do with this, how to handle this, confidence, whoo, going down. The thing is that you can catch yourself. And that's where the go with your gut is. Kim says that's called being cocky. Yeah, when somebody who says they're confident 100% of the time, I just don't believe them. I believe that they are strong and they know their superpower well. That doesn't mean that they're confident 100% of the time. There's always something out there that can trip you up. The thing is that when you know and you understand how your confidence works, you don't have per se a lack of confidence. Your confidence in that particular thing is just lower because you don't know it yet. Once you know it and you're good with it, your confidence level is way higher. 100% most of the time. If you learn something, you know it well, all of a sudden your confidence is at 100%. I'll tell you, the first time I climbed over a wall in an obstacle course race, the very first time, it was very interesting. It was just a 6-foot wall. And I say just a 6-foot wall, tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, because I don't know if any of you have ever gone over a 6-foot wall. But if you've gone over a 6-foot wall, it can be a little intimidating. Now, I'm 5'4", so I have to go like this and reach up for a 6-foot wall. And then unless you have serious upper body strength, which in my first race, I had no upper body strength, you can't just pull yourself up. You got to kind of use your feet. You got to kind of try to pull up, use the wall. So my very, very, very first wall, I walked up to that wall, zero confidence. But this is where my gut came in. And my gut came in and said, you know what? You're here. You showed up and you're standing in front of the wall. You're going to go do this. And I had others with me. So I asked others to help me. So I have a great picture. I should have put it up here. I'll put it up on the Facebook page if I can find it, of one person on one side of my butt, the other person on the other side of my butt. My feet are up on the wall and they are literally trying to push me and launch me up over that wall. And I'll tell you, once I got to the top of the wall and I got back down the other side, all of a sudden it was like, wow, I just did that. There's nothing like a confidence builder when you accomplish something that basically scared the crap out of you. So when you find your superpower, run with it. I'm looking at got a lot of stuff going on here in the chat. So let's see, Steve O says he's starting his value-added product. And then Kim says, biggest achievements, marrying her best friend and buying a home. Yeah. And then let's see, confidence comes from knowledge. For Steve O, confidence comes from knowledge first and repetition second. Yeah, there you go. Practice makes perfect, right? So when you're trying to build confidence, and Steve, I know you, Steve O, I know you play the trumpet. When somebody starts playing an instrument, I'm sure not only their parents, but every neighbor and everybody else who is in earshot is going, oh my God, please make them stop. Please make them stop. But then you learn and you practice and you practice and you practice. Now all of a sudden you're in a major symphony playing the trumpet and you're doing it without even thinking. That's confidence. So confidence, when people say they lack it, I don't really believe that they lack confidence. What they lack is trust in themselves. You have confidence. You just need to choose to pull it out and use it. All right, let's see. Back over here. So speaking of our cheerleaders, we have all kinds of cheerleaders in our lives. And some of them, maybe your parents were very good cheerleaders for you when you were young and told you could do anything that it was that you wanted to do. In my case, I have multiple groups of people. Some of them that are actually all of you here on the call tonight are cheerleaders of mine who have, as I've built my business, have been cheering me on and instilling confidence in me that, yeah, I've got something of value here that is working and people want to hear about. That builds confidence. But then you have your friends, you have your significant other. Let's see. I'm looking at more chat messages here. Diane says she was president of the Ladies Auxiliary for the American Veterans, and she loved it. Yep. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that are out there that you all have things you've achieved. And along the way, we've all had our cheerleaders. So who has your six? Who has your back? That saying of, who has your six? NCIS. That's what I was watching. And got that who has your six one. I never knew that term before then. But anyways, I digress. And those people are the people who are continually there for you. Now, here's the thing. From a cheerleader standpoint, you can have the opposite as well. Now, I didn't even like write anything in there about the opposite because it's not worth mentioning. If there are people in your life that are constantly bringing you down, constantly saying, oh my God, what is she doing now? Oh my God, there's no way she's going to be able to do that or he's going to be able to do that. Seriously, you're going to try that? Those people don't belong. I cut them right out. I do not allow anybody who doesn't support me for me in my life anymore. If somebody is constantly bringing me down or bringing that negativity in, there is no way I'm going to keep them in my life. I will only allow people in that support me and I can support them. So again, if there's people that are in my life, and I don't have any of these people, but I'm just imagining there could be people out there that they're great for supporting me, but when it comes to themselves, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to do anything. They say they hate their lives. They hate everything about it. But anything I do to try to cheer them on and help them and support them, it just falls on deaf ears. I try my best to help as many people as I can. This is what I was born to do, is to help as many people as I can live their best lives. I love doing what I do. But frankly, there's some people out there that just don't want to be helped. And it's really sad. But at the same time, how long can you let them bring you down? Because at a certain point, you really need to, release the brakes and just say, you know what? I've tried my best, and I'll still be here if you want support, but I can't let you keep bringing me down. I really can't. But there is one cheerleader that we haven't talked about yet, but we kind of talked about in the background. Does anybody remember the little engine that could? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. The little engine that could. And I've actually purchased this book for multiple people in my adult life and given that to adults. And reason being is because it's all about confidence. Kim says, love that book. So it's all about confidence. And the story is about a little engine that didn't think it could get up the hill, didn't think it could do what it needed to do, but he built his confidence and he went from, I think I can, to I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. So that was all about the little engine. So your number one biggest cheerleader has to be you. You are your biggest cheerleader. You are the one who has the confidence inside of you, whether you say you lack confidence or not. I can say my confidence is less on certain things, but I won't really use the word I lack confidence because it gives my brain a different connotation. So I'll say, yeah, my confidence level is kind of at a 7 on this one, and I'm working on making it a 10. So when you're talking about your confidence, saying that you can't do something, you gotta remove that word can't from your vocabulary. You can use words like up until now, I haven't been able to do whatever, or I haven't done this yet. Yet and up until now are really good additions to your sentences if you're lacking confidence and you're trying to figure out what you need to do to get to that next level. So, and most of the time it's just repetition and doing it or learning whatever it is. So confidence is just coming from that experience. So here's some tips. And this is really the main screen that I wanted to get to tonight. Here's some tips, 10 tips to basically get you from the I won't do it to success. Now, first off, if you're down here at I won't do it, that you're not moving from here. If you say you won't do it, you're just never going to do it, ever. You're saying you won't. When you say I can't, that's only literally, as it shows, one step up from I won't. You're just about on the I won't. You need to move that I can't to I want to do it. Once you get to that point, you're like, all right, I got zero confidence because I don't know how to do it yet, but I want to do it. So how do I do it? All right, I'll try to do it. Now, I'm not a big fan of the word try, just because trying sometimes implies, that you're not really going to get into it. But the next step up goes to I can do it. And then I will do it. And once you get your brain there, you are now successful with whatever it is. So the tips are be authentically you. Now, Steve Gamlin said that one of his superpowers is being authentic. I know a lot of people, and I would say of all of the people that I know, less, if I had to really put a number on it, I'm going to say less than 5% are authentically them all of the time. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that, I mean, they're not acting themselves. When I see them out and about, I see them at a networking event, I see them on a Zoom call, they're putting on this persona that's not them. They're not acting like them. They're acting like somebody else. They're trying to be somebody that they're not. Now, some people don't know who their authentic self is. Some people have been basically faking it for so long, they don't even know who their authentic self is. So if that's you, and it's not bad to be there, because some of us just grew up that way. I grew up basically being in the background of everybody else. It took me a long time to come out in the front. So I found out that no, authentically, yeah, I am out here and not in the shadows anymore. But maybe you grew up and you can't figure out exactly who you are. What I challenge you there is go find out, figure it out. What do you want to, what do you like? What do you do? Who are you really? There you go. Steve Gamble says, sometimes just jump out of the damn plane. You'll figure it out on the way down. Yes, you will. Hopefully your parachute works. I love that, Steve. So yes, be authentically you. The only person holding you back from being authentically you is you. And you know what? We all love you exactly the way you are, authentically you, because everybody is unique. And that's what we love about your authenticity, is that uniqueness, what makes you authentically you. So the next one is act as if. So you get into something that you're not confident about. I got onto a camera to do a bunch of webinars every week. Was not confident at all. As a matter of fact, if you like, go back. We do have all the recordings from week 1 all the way up to the current weeks, last week and this week to be there soon. But if you look at week 1 to where we are now, you'll see a huge difference, because on week 1, if you ask me what my confidence level was, I'd say, can I go into the negative numbers? Because I really wanted to crawl under a rock, because I just wasn't confident at all. And as I started doing things, I got way more confident what I'm doing. And as I go further, I'm getting more and more confident. So act as if, and that's exactly what I did. That first night, I literally stood in front of my computer before I went live, did a couple breathing exercises, breathe in, did my little box breathing just to get myself centered and grounded. And then the camera light went on and I started looking at the camera light. And if you ask me even right now, I don't remember a word I said on that first webinar, because I was so nervous and so scared. Tonight, different story. I'll remember all of this. So it's about practice and it's about doing it. If you can't do it, fake it till you make it. And really, just do it. Get moving. What are you waiting for? And don't look for perfection. Oh my gosh, this is a big thing. Steve Gamlin and I talk about this one all the time. You don't have to be perfect. I can tell you right now, there is nothing on here that I do that is ever perfect. And I actually like that. When people are perfect, it makes me nervous. It makes me think that they're trying too hard and they're not being authentic. If you're being authentically you, you're going to mess up sometimes. Things are going to happen. Hell, our sound just went out a little while ago. I scrambled really quick to put a different microphone up. Didn't really miss a beat other than the, hey, you lost your sound, and just scrambled, put another mic up and just kept going with it. There's a lot of things that can derail you that, you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't perfect. It doesn't have to be. Nobody wants perfection. Really, honestly, nobody wants perfection. Remember that. And own your mistakes. If you really mess something up, you did it. Own it. There's nothing wrong with that. We talked about E plus R equals O, your responses. There was an event. Something went wrong. The outcome, messed up. That's okay. This is how we learn. Mistakes are how we learn. Let's see, Steve Gamlin says, my look back phrase that I use now when I'm looking at my nervous efforts is, oh gosh, that's adorable. It keeps them on track towards growth. I know, we talked about that one. I'm going to start using that line. Every time I see myself in one of my old videos, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, that's so adorable. And Ginger says, I always take on projects or directions that are challenging and will not give up, even if she has to do it over and over again. And when she's done, she's amazed that she actually achieved your goal. So, when you say that you're amazed, just think about that. You still did it. It wasn't somebody else. It was all you. So when I say confidence is in you and everybody has it, it's whether or not you let it out of the cage. It's like we all have the confidence. I have the confidence to be on the camera. There's something, what scares me? I don't know. What scared me back when? I don't know. Maybe some limiting belief or something. But, I had people who had my 6, like Steve Gamlin. And he literally said, just do it. He literally said number 3 to me and said, just do it. Go do it. Get it over with. They'll get better as they go along. And you know what? Lo and behold, it did. Because I had it in me to do it all along. So Ginger, you have it in you. Everything that you have. Don't be amazed at your goal. Just congratulate yourself. We haven't gotten down that one yet, but we're going to talk about that in just a sec. So own your mistakes. Focus on what you can control. Do what makes you happy and celebrate all your wins. Bouncing down there for Ginger. Even if it's a small win, I mean, literally there are some days when I wake up in the morning, I am overwhelmed most days trying to work on what I'm working on with my business right now. And, when you're a startup business, there's a lot going on. And on top of that, I'm in 2 certification programs. And so there's a lot of training going on. And I'm in a marketing program, and there's all kinds of different things. So I'm getting things tossed at me all the time. And then I'm trying to get out and about and talk with other people and trying to find all the hours in the day. I'll tell you, there are some days where I'm celebrating if I got out of bed in the morning and I'm upright and I made it to the coffee maker. That's a big win for me some mornings. So celebrate all of your wins. It doesn't matter how small they are. Every win is a win. And then there you go. Surround yourself with your cheerleading squad. Again, there is nothing better, especially if you're having one of those low confidence days, and we all have them. It's just the way things are. When you have one of those days, just call up one of your team, message somebody and say, hey, Steve Gamlin knows this all the time. We chat all the time. He's one of my inner circle people. And there's some days when I just message him and say, make me laugh. And he does. So sometimes, you need that cheerleading squad around. Sometimes you're working on something so hard and you feel like you're getting nowhere, but then one of your cheerleaders goes, oh my gosh, do you realize how far you've come? And because you've been in the thick of it the whole time, you never even realized it. You never even realized that all of the advancement that you had, you've just been so focused that you didn't even notice you went, 100 miles in the right direction to where you wanted to go. So sometimes you just need your cheerleading squad around you just to let you know how well you're doing. And remember, that cheerleading squad goes both ways. So always, always, always be everybody else's cheerleader as well. So celebrate all their wins. There's a lot of people that I'm working with right now that we're all building our businesses. And some of them are very similar. Some of them are completely different. But it doesn't matter what we're doing. We all celebrate everybody's wins, no matter how small they are. That is kind of the key. You help others, they help you. This is how the world works, people. It's also how you build your confidence. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Because we're going to go on to the actions of the week next. There's lots of information on confidence that we could talk about, but this is kind of scratching the surface, believe it or not. And this is more information than we usually have. So if nobody has any questions, if you do, just type them in. And then we'll move on to the actions of the week. The action of the week, go figure, build your self-confidence. So what is something that you think that you can't do? I love this cartoon. I found this when I was looking for the other ones. It said, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. He has his hand on the top. He's there. And his cheerleader up top says, you just did it. Isn't that awesome? I remember, side story, I remember the very first time in my obstacle course racing career that I made it across the monkey bars. Now, even as a kid, I told you, I was never all that athletic. And even as a kid, I never got across the monkey bars. It just wasn't one of those things that I did. And in the gym one day, I was working with my trainer, and I'm like, I was doing the, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then we were working on it, and he and I were saying, visualize the end, one rung at a time, just go. And he was my biggest cheerleader. He was standing below. I got up, got on the monkey bars, and I went to the first one. And then I went to the second one. And then I kept going. And then I kept going. And as I was going, in my head, I was still saying, I can't do this, because that's where I was at the time. And I was saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And this is why I love this. I'm in chills right now, because this is why I love this cartoon. That was my trainer. I got to the last rung and I said, I can't do this. And he looked at me, he said, you just did. Now just jump off. I literally did not believe that I did it. And I jumped off and I turned around and I looked back at the monkey bars behind me. I went, holy crap, I just did it. And then after that, whoa, did that build my confidence? Never again after that did I say I can't do this. I said, I'm getting better at it. I said, I've done it and I'm getting better at it now. So huge confidence builder. So what are those stories that are in your head that I can't do this? Stop, think, and rewrite those stories. Whether it's a limiting belief story from something from your childhood, or just something that you're telling yourself for whatever reason. That we all have our reasons for basically putting ourselves down. We are our own worst critics. We said that. We're our own worst judge. But there's no reason to be. Just say, I can. You can use the up until now. Rewrite the stories that you're hearing so that you can build your confidence. And then figure out who has your six. Who are those people that are in your support circle that are always cheering you on? The ones that always have your back, the ones that you want to cheer on, the ones that, you can't wait to talk to these people. Every time, it's every time the phone rings, you answer the phone. You don't let it go to voicemail unless you have to, because you're working or something. But, it's those people that, they're there. You want to hear from them. They're always happy. They always have something good to say. They might call you up and say, hey, I just did this. I just got a new customer. I just ran a 5K. I just did whatever it was that they did. And you are so excited for them. And then they're just as excited every time that you have a win. Because that helps build that confidence, because you have those people behind you. And then the last thing for the action of the week is to do something new. It's when we're doing something new that our confidence is kind of low. And it's because we don't know how to do it. And what I'm going to challenge you on that one is, just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean you have to not have confidence in it. It just means you need to learn it. So don't use self-confidence or lack of self-confidence as a crutch. A lot of people use lack of self-confidence as a crutch to say, oh, but I can't because. They start bringing in excuses. They start bringing in different things. Those are those stories. Rewrite those stories, get rid of those stories, and do something new. There's always something out there for you to work on, for you to do. It's all about life. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? If you're not doing anything, you're not learning anything new, then you're pretty much a couch potato. And well, frankly, those people are probably not on this call anyways, right? Does anybody have any questions about the actions of the week? Again, the actions are there for your added value. I will post them out on our Facebook page, and I encourage you, if you do anything different this week, go out and post it on the page. We'll build each other up and build our own confidences up just by sharing in our private Facebook group. It's a safe place. Nobody's going to judge. Nobody's going to say anything bad. Everybody's just going to lift everybody up. That's what that page is all about. And it's just for the members of Autumn Ascent Weekly. So no strangers are going to be out there poking around or trying to sell you something or do anything on that page. It's just for us. So feel safe and feel confident that whatever you put out there, we'll get good feedback. All right. If nobody has any other questions, if you do, type them in. Our upcoming schedule is next week. We're going to be talking about the positivity of education. And then on March 9th, which is the second Tuesday of the month, instead of the third, due to our schedules, we have special guest Shante Douglas. And Shante is with us again, and she has that unique coaching method, and she uses the heart math tools. So I'm really excited to hear from her. And I really don't know a lot about the heart math tools and what they do, but she is also a life coach, life strategist, and she is great with what she does. I love her personality. I love her authenticity, and I think you're going to love her too. So she is on March 9th, and then on March 16th, we have Success. And then the 23rd is Change. And then March 30th, that week is Overcoming Fear. So we have some really cool topics coming up. And if anybody has any questions on them as we go along, feel free to share. And with that, I say thank you very much for being here tonight. I am very grateful to have you all here. I'm going to unshare if I can find out where my screen is. There we go. There we go. Again, it was that screen back and forth again. my turn off my screen share was on a different screen, so we have to get used to this new setup. But thank you so much. Diane says, I'll be your cheerleader for another 50 years. Yep, I've known Diane for 50 years. But after that, she doesn't know. Thanks, Diane. Love you. And thank you, Kim. And Ginger, thank you. And if anybody has any additional comments or information that they want to add to this conversation on confidence, again, feel free to post it in the Facebook page. And with that, I will say have a good night, and we'll see you out on the Facebook page, and I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.